doing a combination of these things, because the R&D bonus, when you actually look at it, you're not always going to make the 150, because if you have your senior director coming in, they take the 50, you got the 100. So it's not always going to be 150, but for this, we'll keep it just simple. I want you judging your business it's hard not to. But so many reps start talking about their organization that's growing, how big it is, and they're proud of it. They should be proud of it. You should be proud of it, because there's residual behind it and things. But we're talking the coded model, things that produce money. So we're going to break it down to the actual things that are going to make you money. And one of those things is working in the right areas, maximizing your business. It's the easiest thing in the world to go from being productive and working the business to also managing other people. And in your organization, people will do exactly what you do. It just takes time to get there. So what happens is, a person gets a little something going in the business, and then they're going to go, instead of me doing it personally, now I'm going to go drive through my people, because I'm helping my people. That's what they tell me. That's what they tell themselves. I'm now helping my people. I'm going to help my people. It would be selfish for me to go out and personally sponsor somebody. Or I'm going to go do meetings for Jay. Jay's here. Jay wants it real bad. But the reality is, Jay needs to see you doing the things you're asking him to do. That's one of the best ways you can ever help your downline, is actually doing the activity that you want them to do to create productivity. Is everybody with me on this? So management is one of the worst things that you can ever do in our business. And if you go into management mode, just know it's a matter of time before the group is going to die. I say die, I mean die. And we're trying to create momentum. Believe me, you don't want to lose it. So as you go out and you start to build, we're going to use a combination of these two things. Now, quite frankly, if you want to do that every week, if you want to sponsor 4 people, personal, how much do you make? $1,000, right? It's $250. With promos and stuff like that, we'll know it's more. But if you want to personally sponsor 4 people every week, how many people do that on a weekly basis? That's what I'm talking about, right? Come on, personally sponsor 4 people a week. Not that some people in this room can't, and that'd be great. I mean, if you have that kind of talent, but most people are not going to personally sponsor 4 people. But let's say in this scenario that you wanted to, how many meetings will we have to do? Well, the normal close rate of any network marketing organization is 30%, which means that if you do 10 qualified meetings, to get a qualified meeting means that you went through the system for success. I'll write it real quick for you, which is you have your why, you do your list, which is what we're going to talk about today, and you do discovery. Discovery is asking questions to find out if they're even open in the business. Number 2 is invite. I'm not very good at English. Number 3 is present. Number 4 is follow up. I'll go over this again in a minute, but I'm just kind of going through this real quick for you. So a qualified meeting is somebody that you did the discovery properly with and the invitation properly with. That's a qualified meeting, okay? I just want you all to know. To do 10 qualified meetings, you're going to have 3 people sign up. So we want to go out and do that. Let's make it easier. Let's make it $750 so we can just use the easy number. $750 a week. So you have to have 3 people sign up. So if you do 10 qualified meetings, you'll have those 3 reps that will become there. That means 7 people say no. But to get 10 qualified meetings, our averages from the industry tell you that you're going to have to talk to 3 people to get 1 qualified meeting, right? So you're going to have to go talk to 30 people that you're going to actually have to go off and do a discovery with, and get to the point where you're engaging them in a conversation about where their life is, asking them the right questions. 30 people in a week, if you think about it, you're living your life, right? You're out doing things. 30 people, new people, can get daunting. That can be difficult if you start thinking about that. I mean, that's not easy. That's why nobody raised their hand when I said they're sponsoring 3 or 4 people a week. It's tough. But that 30 people, if you lay down, if you break that down over 6 days, let's say, right, so that's 5 new people a day. Every single night when you lay your head down and say your prayers, whatever you do at night, if you didn't talk to 5 new people through discovery or try to get to an invitation with them, you know you're behind already on your goal. Now, this changes when you get better at it, or when you have a higher close rate, or whatever it is. But when you start talking about 30 people a week, every week after week after week after week, quickly becomes that we need to see more people. No, most people are they got to get outside of the very few people that they know, because they already feel like there's scarcity in who they're going to talk to. Can I tell you right now, there is never going to be scarcity in who you're going to talk to. It's just whether you develop the skills to actually learn how to drive through other people to get to their warm markets, okay? So we're going to talk to you, which is why I put it up here. The list. Your list. How many people have a list? Can you hold it up? Can I see your list? Few people have it, right? maybe somebody else I forget about, or I put somebody in the business and I would go through their list, and but I never, it was always a struggle for me to keep a list. That's a great list. This list is your only inventory in Momentous. This is what you are going to build your business from. One of the single most important items of your life is your list. Every person in this room, if you get good at your list, building a list of people you're going to do discovery with, you're going to be wealthy and momentous, as long as you do the system, right? Follow the system, which I'm going to teach you in a minute. But that list is where most people lack. Most people literally think they're going to just bump into somebody on a daily basis that's going to ask them if they can do momentous with them. When I ask them, so what's your strategy? Well, we go to Walmart, we go to, and that's great. I want you to go do that. I'm going to tell you, it's a hard road. And you talk to most of the top performers, I wouldn't say all of them, I'd say most of them, probably all of them, don't do cold marketing much. They don't. I mean, a couple of them do some internet stuff, but most of them do warm market, meaning that they talk to somebody, know somebody. Here's why I'm saying this. Here's where no becomes your best friend. You're going to go, that one. When you do your normal list, you write down everybody you know, does it make sense to you that people on your list know people you don't know? Right. So when you do your discovery with them and you're talking to them, if they say, they seem like they're open to anything, let's talk about discovery for a moment. How many of you have a line you use every time when you go up to somebody? Anybody? I'd like to hear it. Anybody? What do you guys say? Let me just start calling some people. What do you say when you talk to people? Big guy right there, blue shirt. Yeah, you.
Do you keep your options open for any little extra money?
That's good. Anybody else? What do you do? Yeah. That's good. How about you? Practice that animation. Yeah, that's better.
What works for me, yes, I am a lady. I get them talking, I don't know them already, I get them talking so that they ask me something first, so that I can act like I'm answering them instead of like me coming on to them first.
Jedi mind trick.
That works better.
Good. That's good. That sounds like if you can do that, it's great. Look, what do you say? Everybody knows they're all different. Everybody's different, right? Different scenarios with different people and stuff. I'm going to tell you that I've listened to everyone. I mean, the last 18 years I've heard, I bet you, I don't even know, it has to be hundreds of thousands of examples. I mean, it is crazy how people come up with the wackiest stuff to say. Some people say the most off-the-wall stuff. Some people are so smooth, some practice, some don't. And yet when you meet top earners, it's always different. So I'm going to say it's not so much what you say. It is saying not everything that you don't want to say. So it does not need to leave some things out. You don't want to give all the information up front. But it's not so much what you say as much as how you say it. And what I have found is that when people are uncomfortable, when they're not prepared, when they don't know what to say exactly, they give off such a vibe of insecurity that, man, the person sitting across from them is feeling uncomfortable. And so is that a good way to start anything recruiting somebody? I mean, it's a horrible feeling, right? When you're sitting there like, why is this person so nervous? What's wrong? What just happened to our conversation? Especially when it's somebody you know. But we don't want to talk to people that don't want to be talked to, so it does matter. But I'm going to tell you something. Some of the best, the highest earners, not best, highest earners in our industry are rude at this point when they approach somebody. They're rude. They're not even nice. Because people want to be led. I'm telling you, it's human nature. I'm not trying to figure out why. But when you're talking to someone, anybody, and you come off as unsure of yourself, or you're trying to process it instead of being engaged in the conversation like you just were, like you normally would be. Now there's no rapport there because they can feel you're trying to manipulate something or whatever it is. You're going to lose them. You're not going to get a chance. People want to know that you can help them. If you can't even help yourself, so my point is this. You got to practice. Practice this. Go work with people. Talk to people about it. Start taking somebody, find an accountability partner in your organization, somebody that does it great, and start working on it with each other. Like the athletes, who all they do all day long is practice. The NBA, they play 82 games, right? How many practices do you think they do? All the time. So, how many of you are actually practicing your momentous approach? Somebody? Don't you think it's important to do that? So, let's do that. Let's call some people up here and let's practice. Okay? Who wants to be a volunteer? Come on up, buddy. How do you do? What's your name? What is it? Edgardo? All right. So there we go. Hold the spring. There you go. Edgardo? Yeah, sorry. How long have you been in business? A month. How's it going? Pretty good. It's the usual answer, right? What, get one customer? And any reps? No reps yet. You got a good attitude. We're going to blow your mind when you actually sponsor somebody. What have you found to be difficult? Have you tried this? Have you approached many people?
I have to.
What happens?
The part is, I don't have time. I don't have money.
To approach people?
Oh, no, that's good for me.
So, okay, so approach them. What do you say? Hold that microphone out of the way.
Okay. Hi, I'm Zedgar. How are you doing today?
So you don't even know me. You approach people you don't know. And they tell you, I would say, I don't have time.
You don't have time for what?
That's what I'm saying. You told me the day once to say,
Jedi mind trick. Oh, I'm that nervous the best.
so how you doing here?
I'm doing a little nervous right now, but I'm gonna get over that. I just talk
Are
to
you
you.
just telling me this for real?
It's my approach. It's my approach. I'm not keeping that stuff up.
Completely lost at this point.
That's all it is.
We're acting.
Basically, yeah. Basically, what I'm just talking to you.
We're at Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
We run into each other.
What are you reading? Yeah, you read Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, man. Hey, I got this book on
Robert
success.
D. Stuck?
Yeah, Robert D. Stuck.
Right on. Well, listen, I just started an international business here in Dallas, Texas. Maybe we can have some time, we can sit down and talk how we can grow and profit each other. Like,
How many times have you done that?
face to face.
Really?
About 25 times.
And you've had nobody join your business yet?
It's okay. I keep going.
No, but I'm asking for sure. Are you building any rapport? Here's one. Let me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's talk about that. Because it's important to understand, because you're smooth, man. You got this. You're not nervous or anything. You got. What are you saying? I think you're probably saying too much, right? That's what. Would you guys agree? It's probably where it's going on. We have a sponsor. We got a bunch of people out here that aren't as smooth as you that sponsor a lot of people. If you have a sponsor, we're going to help you right now today. So it's called discovery. When you come up to somebody, ask questions. So I want you to practice this. Come up. You ask me about the book. Ask me why I'm reading that book. Because I'm reading Robert Kiyosaki. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So I would say, why are you reading it? What's that book about?
Why are you reading Robert
Yeah, I'm
Kiyosaki?
not going to talk about that.
Okay.
The point is that at that moment of discovery, when you're doing that, if people are telling you I don't have time, does that tell you that you're probably going beyond just a discovery? Because why would they say that? What are the typical ways? What would have that?
They get a little fear
About what?
about who is this guy?
I can say it. I'm saying if somebody's aggressive,
Correct.
are you aggressive always?
I try not to be.
Try not to be. When you come up to somebody and you approach them, there has to be rapport, right? So do you have these one market? Have you ever gone to a family member or friend?
Yes, I have.
Did you make a list?
I have it. That's
What's
right.
your upline about that?
Martha Rodriguez,
Martha Rodriguez?
raise your hand.
Actually, I want to know. So, and who's her upline?
Angel Acosta.
Right on. So you got some of the best of the best here. Good. When you make your list, when you talk to your family members, who do you go approach?
My uncle,
What'd you say?
my girlfriend. I told my uncle, hey, I need your help.
About what? Customer?
I just need your help to make money.
To make money?
Yeah. I told him, you buy electricity, you should buy electricity from me. That's it.
Did you approach anybody about the business from your warm list?
Not to be a brand partner, no.
Why not?
I don't know.
How many people have been in this situation where you feel like you don't know what you're saying? Yeah, a lot of people. Look at everybody raising their hands up. So he represents a lot part of this room, huh? Good job. All right, everybody use that. So let's talk about pros. This is obviously a big topic here we need to do right now in our business because it starts here, right? And the point of it is, you have to build some rapport here. This is not something, look, we're looking for people who are looking for us. So, let me say this right now at the beginning. You run into somebody who's hungry for something in life, and you even show them a little bit of what you got, they're going to jump on it. So you can do everything wrong and have success. So the point is, go do it. Don't wait till you're perfect at it. Please don't just say, I'm going to practice all the time. You never approach anybody. I'd rather you be really bad at it and approach people, and you'll have better success than waiting until you're great at it to approach. So I'll start right there. But then let's talk about when you do approach them, when you go up to them, there has to be some sincerity to it, right? There has to be a point to a purpose to it. When you have the guts and he has the ability to go speak and talk, and that should lead you to sponsoring people. If it's not, it's because you're saying too much. Remember I said it's not what you say, even though it is important not to say the wrong things. So it's, some people are talking about themselves, talking about it, that's fine, all that's fine. But if you start talking about the business during the discovery, you're way out of bounds. So let's break it down in a very simple form. Let's come up with something that everybody can use right now and just a mindset thing. And I'm going to tell you, the eyes looking at the person, the confidence that comes from you, that is what they're feeling. 90% of communication is nonverbal. If somebody's fidgeting and sweating and can't do it because they're scared, because you're already thinking 4 steps down the road of how am I going to present to them? Are they going to get in or not? I wanted to. I really like them. I'm trying to make this money for my family. All those things contribute to that moment when you're first meeting somebody that can screw it all up. So you've got to be focused on what you're doing, and at that moment you're trying to discover if they're open to an opportunity. How do you get that? To feel confident in some part of this to where you can project that confidence at the moment of truth. So the discovery part of this is nothing more than asking questions. That's how it starts. That's where it should be. All those questions, I've heard people say, are you open to other people making money? What is your priority in life? All those things are questions they're asking. The moment you stop asking questions and they start asking questions, you've lost control. They now control the conversation. Why? What is it? What is it about? What are you talking about? And then people that have never built network marketing, some people that have built network marketing, it's so hard not to answer it. It's that moment where they say, when you go up to you, say, how you doing? And you start talking about books or whatever the heck it is, whatever scenario you make in your head. And you say, are you open to something? Or, man, you were telling me about that car. What if I have a way that you can get a new car? Or, my kids go to a private school too. They didn't before until I found a solution for that. And now they go to private school. Where's my wife? So happy. Would you be open to hearing about how we solved that problem? At that moment, that crucial moment, and they're going to say, what is it? Why? What are you talking about? At that moment is where you have to have your confidence. That's when you've got to show them that you're going to lead them through this. And it's why when you talk to TPC members or national directors, even people that just start, and go out and sponsor a bunch of people, is because they have this part of it down. They know how to transition into that next thing. For the amateur network marketer, they have no clue what to do at that moment. They'll answer. Because electricity is in Texas and you can make money. Because I want to be a TPC someday, and I need you to help me make money to get there. I mean, it just gets crazy. And then you start losing the way, and it's gone. You've lost that person because they're going, she's confused. She's already, they might not say this. They might even know they're thinking this. But the thing is, that was horrible. That person can't help me. Or you can run into that person, like I said, that was just super hungry, and it doesn't matter how it was presented. The guy that recruited me in the network market called on the phone and said, how would you like to get paid every time somebody makes a phone call? That's how he started the conversation, other than, hey, it needs coach. I'd like to get paid every time. I said, that was his recruiting. When I recruited my buddies, and I started calling people, I called them and said, you have your checkbook? Yeah, bring it over. That's how I did it. But I wasn't saying, hey, rates are really good right now, and well, I've got to do a discovery with you. Okay, I said, you have your checkbook? Get over to my house, bring your checkbook. It was the confidence. It was the, I know where I'm going now, I want you to come with me. And people responded to that. And so we actually have a term for it, ignorance on fire. Right? And this is important we talk about this because we're entering into the zone for most, when I see 40% of the room raise their hand that they feel the same way that Edgar does about that, then I know that we have a lot of people that never make money in network marketing. And so this is the zone where you actually lose most people. They go from hearing the concept, loving the concept, being excited about it, to start educating themselves and understanding what they don't know, and they lose their enthusiasm for it because they think it's like another job, or it's another venture, or it's just something that's too much, and it just gets crazy, get weighted down, and now they've lost their initial enthusiasm for the business. It's kind of one of those things that you feel in a way you're like, this isn't what I thought it was, kind of deal. And we can't get there. We've got to educate people through this moment right now. So when you go up to somebody and you approach them, it's how you say that weighs more than anything. I'll use the example I've used for years that people understand. There's a fire right now. It's raging next door. And it's going to come in here and burn all of you to death. Probably send your lungs first before you get out the door. The smoke can kill half of you. The rest are going to burn to death. Nobody moves. Nobody cares. Right? Because you're listening. First of all, you're looking at how I'm right now. You're listening to my tone of voice. The words I just said should have been horrific. You're probably confused, like, what? This is the example. What does that mean? If I walked in here and I was walking over here and I walked over and I go, fire! You'd be like, okay, I'm going to check right here. People will start walking right along with you, right? They'll get up, grab your bag, start moving like that. If at any hit whatsoever, if I came in and just, like that, everybody would be going, you leave the bag. The more dramatic it is, the more exciting it is, it's the non-verbal. It's just one word, and everybody's out the door. What I say, if I talk about it in a way that makes sense, in the way it is, because people go, I want to be professional and momentous. I want to be professional and momentous. I want to do it right. I want to dress right. I want to get my badge right. I'm going to be professional, so I want to look cool. So they start trying to play a role that has nothing to do with who they really are. There are people trying to pay for things that matter so much in life. Their children, their families, their futures. And this is a moment where you yell fire to the person. And it's not, hey, oh, I can't, I'm so happy. So how are you doing? Nice talking. You're reading that book. You're keeping your options. Yes, I do. Awesome. I'm with this energy company. You can make money for your family too. I'm doing it for my kids. No, that's not the point. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying at that moment, every time you take the next step, you go from that initial discovery, when they go to the next step, then it's the invitation. Throw all that passion into the invitation. So each one of these has got to be separate. So as you do your discovery, whichever that is, however you decide to do it, however your words are, however they work, and you need to practice it, that needs to fuel your passion for your family stuff. You need to be in the zone at that moment. So that they at least feel it. That, hey, this person is going, so I don't know what it is with this. And it's still not going to work all the time. Don't get me wrong. Don't worry about that. Worry about yourself. When you do that discovery, then you do the invitation. Then it is, man, I need 10 minutes to sit with you to talk about something. Or I need you to spend 5 minutes on a phone call with me right now that can change your life forever. What is it? Tell me about it. I'm not going to get on that call. It's about 5 minutes. No, what is it about? Like literally, what's the name of the company? I'm going to tell you all that. You ready to start the 5-minute conversation? No, but I'm not going to sit with you for 5 minutes if you don't wait. Go back to the discovery and say, you said you were trying to help your family. You're trying to get a new car. You're trying to do this. Whatever that was that you found, that hot spot, as Philip called it. At that moment, that gave you the ammunition. That's why you do that. So you can go back to them and say, that's what you said. Did you mean it? And then they're going to say yes or no. And you're going to be happy either way. Because if they say no, you're off to the next one and you're okay. If they say yes, now you're sitting with somebody who's actually been qualified. Somebody that you're going to go do an invitation. Now, then we present. And all that is, we know there are different ways. But I want to stay on this discovery process because it starts there. So you have to find something that you can be confident about. Do you understand why I'm talking about? Well, you know, Amway has been here for 50, 60 years, whatever it's been that Amway's been around, still a monster organization. You know, in network marketing, people tend to talk about it like it's not a good company or the comp plan's horrible. You know, they have lifers there. People that don't make money that stay forever. Why? Because they teach them about themselves. They constantly educate them about life. They're showing them all these valuable tools that are non-monetary, most of them. But they're so important to people that they feel better about themselves. They start projecting something different about themselves. I've had so many people I've met through the years that say, I'm successful at this because of my Amway training. I'm successful at this because I learned from network marketing. I had a gentleman I met with yesterday in the office that said he has 2 other businesses or 3 other businesses, and he said, the reason why I'm successful in those is because of what I learned in network marketing about myself, about those things. So there are other value things. What I'm trying to tell you is, as a new person, since you don't know the comp plan, since you don't know really the rates, and I don't want you to know those things right now, what are you going to be confident about? How do you get yourself in the zone? What are you going to focus on? And it comes from your why, and it comes from you learning about your role here, so that you know it's nothing more at the beginning than doing that discovery and then getting them to listen to somebody in your outline. That's all you have to do. So don't worry about all the rest. Don't let it clutter your brain whatsoever. You say, well, I want to own my own business. I want to be a new president. It's great. That's the person we love to work with. We love to help you do that. But there's a process here. It takes time to learn that. Every single one of the top performers in our company has gone through this learning curve. There's no getting around it. Some of them are so smooth, it's unbelievable. Other ones, I wonder how they make 20 grand in a week. I'm not going to tell you. Because it's so different. It's always different. But you've got to find your confidence, your zone. And that's going to come from you working at it, actually spending time thinking about it. Get up in the morning, have your written goals written down. These are things that are universal, right? You're going to get what you focus on. People that wake up and watch the news every morning, you know they're the angry ones on the road, right? In the traffic. People that are stuck in careers they don't enjoy. You know, people switch right now. The average American, I'm not going to talk about Canadians, the average American changes careers, not just jobs, careers 7 times in their lifetime. Nobody knows what they want anymore. It's all changed. The game's changing all the time. The services we're talking about are so common sense. The opportunity we wrap ourselves around is so common sense, it doesn't matter what is next, we'll plug it in. And you have got to take confidence in that. I want you to, but you need to find your path. And you got to fight for it. And I'm telling you, you got to fight for it. I am somebody that from day one when I joined the business, I started doing presentations. It never bothered me, never today. I spoke in front of 15,000 people. My heart rate wasn't even up. I speak in front of 50 people, 5, it doesn't matter. For some reason, because I never tried to be anything I'm not, I don't worry about that stuff. But I hated prospecting as an independent rep. Hated it. I always wanted to be somebody that just gave to people. I don't ever want to try to take it. I don't want to feel like I'm taking it. I always thought I was raised to think I was special. So I felt like, I don't know, I hated going up to somebody and prospecting. I had buddies that would go to the mall, man. They'd just go to the mall. Start talking to people and finding prospects, get cards and stuff. And then I would go to the mall with them and try to do it. And it was like I was chewing glass. Hated every second of it. I hated gathering customers. How many of you love gathering customers? See, I'm not one of you. I hated it. I being vulnerable. I would rather give money to my family. I'd rather do anything than ask them for something. So my why, this is how I learned about the why. Because the more I did that, the more I started building my business and I saw what was necessary, I knew I had to build my why up. So it would force me to do the things I didn't want to do. And I'm going to tell you, you're at the same crossroads we are. And this is the part that nobody wants to talk about. It's up to you to make this happen. It's truly up to you. You are the one responsible. Nobody else is responsible. You are the one that's responsible. This is great. People are going to make money, some aren't. Which one are you going to be? That's the question. And which one are you going to? So when we do a discovery, are you doing it with intent? Are you doing it with power? Are you doing it with confidence? Are you doing it because you think you really have something there? Or are you so lost in the process, so scared of your own shadow, that you're not projecting anything to them that will make them think you can lead them? Or are you so beyond even caring about what they're saying, that you're already thinking about the next steps of putting them in? So you start bombarding with the wrong information. Please, separate them all out. Nothing else. When you walk out of here, get good at doing discovery. If you find people who are looking for an opportunity, you know how easy this business is? It's crazy. It becomes so much fun. And this is something that I learned firsthand. 2 years ago, I was in such a bad financial position that when I sat across every table with somebody, they literally were intimidated at times. I was so ready, and I feel that way today. I have no time, 0 time, to spend with somebody who has a negative attitude. 0 time. I will not spend any time with them. I'm not saying that because I think I'm all end all be all. I just don't have any time for it, and neither do you. That's right. If somebody is going to be negative, we choose who we work with in Momentous. We do. You do. The new independent representative, the senior director trying to go to regional that wants to go to national wants to go to international. You choose who you're going to sponsor and help. You do. You're not needing them like that. You need them to need you. And so if you can get good at this process through the discovery, if you can get good at it, and your why will drive you to do it, and then you get good at that discovery, and then you'll start to understand how every one of those steps is so important. It's critical that you do them separately, that you keep them separate. I promise you, I can sit with you in 3 minutes, and go, a new person, and go from the discovery, the invitation, the presentation, the follow. I can go through all of that, mix it up, and still get people to sign because I've been doing this for 18 years. I know there are a lot of people in this room who do the same thing, but I don't. Because the one thing I've learned is every time you approach somebody, the moment, please write this down, the moment you meet somebody, you're training them on how to do the business. The moment you meet them, not the moment you sponsor them, the moment you meet them, you're training them on how to do the business. That's why if somebody comes to a house meeting and they sit down on the couch and they watch a presentation and they get excited, they get started, they want to do house meetings. I don't have people in my house. If they can answer an ad in the paper, they will run ads in the paper. They come to a hotel meeting, they only want to do hotel meetings. It's because they're being trained the moment they're being prospected. If you prospect them by going up to them and saying, hey, you see my motorcycle? My motorcycle's so cool, I bought that with cash in my second week in Momentus. Guess what they're going to think? I need a motorcycle, man. I'm telling you. So you're training the moment you do, so you have to do it with intent. So as you're doing discovery, where you have your confidence because you realize anybody can do discovery. Anybody can get good at this. Anybody. I'm not saying you will, because your why will determine that. But I'm saying anybody can get good at this and be confident that they can go through this and ask the right questions. Because if you really don't care about people, you really don't care about people becoming successful, if you're really not on a search to help anybody else, you're not going to make it anyway, network marketing. So it's okay, we'll weed out as we go. But if you really care about people like everybody in this room does, then the discovery is your moment to truly show them, as you're asking those questions, you're getting to what is their life about, how can you help them, and that, how can you not get passionate about that, right? And so if you're passionate about just that one thing, just one step, then it will lead to the next step, which is the invitation, which is nothing more. And Reggie, I don't know what Reggie is. Reggie? He was, right? Was it you that said you mastered the invitation? Is that what you talked about? Right. Master the invitation. I asked Reggie, I said, we were doing the event in February, so we're going to train on. He said, master the invitation. There's one of our national directors, TPC members, top runners in the company, who feels so passionate about it. That was the one thing that he said he wanted to train on. Master the invitation. So that discovery, your why is the first thing. It all builds, right? Your why is so important. You have to be passionate about it. It can't just be a number. It's got to be super passionate about it. You do your list, add to your list, and constantly talking to people, working through it so that as you build your list out, you're going to have more and more people. There's no scarcity here, I promise you that. Or I'd have been done a long time ago. Earl, how many years have you been doing network marketing, Earl?
26.
And do you do cold marketing at all, Earl?
I'm learning. That's not new go.
26 years of warm marketing. So you think you would have ran out of this list if you were just, if you had this one? Yeah. It doesn't exist, guys. You will continue to have to do that. Then you do your discovery. When you do that right, now you've begun the process of training them. Now you're in the process of showing them it's about them, but you're in control. You're asking the questions. You're getting to it. Then when you do your invitation, that invitation is all it is. That moment, that all you're thinking about, forget everything else before and after, is getting them to give you enough time to hear the story of Momentus. Establishing a time to hear the story of Momentus. Are we telling the story? No, that's not what we said. We're establishing a time to hear the story. How you do it, what you lead to, that's what the invitation is for. To determine the best way to deliver the story. Everyone with me on this? So when you go through this process, at any time people start throwing, trying to bump you up here. What's it about? Tell me the name of the company. What do you do? I mean, just tell me what industry is in. And, how are you doing? They start asking all these questions. And it's by you understanding your role at that moment, which will keep you on the task. Because you're training them, right? So as you do your discovery, as you do your invitation, then it goes to the presentation. In that presentation, there are videos online, there's conference calls, there are webinars, there are hotel meetings, there are leaders that will go do meetings with you, there are Starbucks in every corner. There are so many ways to do this. We are developing a DVD that you'll be able to just plug in, so anybody will be online, and we can just plug it in, and it will have all the processes of that, so somebody literally just hand it to them, and they'll be able to watch it, and the presentation is done for them, just teach you what question to ask at the end, the follow-up. So as you do, you're welcome. So this is part of the process, the evolution of Momentus, right? So when you do your presentation, has anybody ever heard people do different styles of presentation? No. Have you ever heard some people that are kind of quiet and kind of reserved with it? People are very professional. Other people are like, it's a rock concert. Antoine's like in his own world, how he does it. You know, after I listen to Quincy do it, I mean, I'm entertained by some of the people as they do presentation. what you'll hear though is that they tend to say the same thing all the time. And I know Antoine's presentation, I think, as well as Antoine knows his presentation. I know it so well that when he changes it and throws something else in, I'm like, what do you say? Where did that come from? That word's not normally there. Mastering the mundane. Doing the same thing, but investing yourself emotionally into it. Understanding your training, your people, by your activity and your productivity. Then it goes to the follow-up. And I'm going to tell you something. I told you the why is the most important thing. I've watched people that don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Can you understand me? Their why is strong enough, they'll make it happen. But if you really want to be good and get efficient and make a bunch of money in network marketing, then understand the key points in your production. The key points. Your list. You got to have people to talk to. Adding people to your list. How many people are you inviting and presenting to? And that's what we do. Does everybody know that? You come sit in a chair like this because I'm happy you're here. If you don't go take what you learned right now and put it into activity and productivity, you're not getting paid to be here. So we have to take it and translate it into actual building your organization. So you have your list, your invitation and presentation, and then your follow-up. Your follow-up is where you find out if they're going to be a representative or a customer or a referral for you. They're going to build a referral for you, which goes back to your list, starts the whole thing over again. I'm going to write it down for you. I want you to know right now, as I sit here, we have that little moment where I find out that most people don't know this stuff. You're going to see this so much over the next 90 days. I'm going to blitz you with this information. This training, we're going to be training more than, I'm telling you, all of you that are about to, I apologize right now that you haven't seen more of this. This company's going to become one of the great training network marketing companies on the planet. It's going to help you a lot. I'm separating every one of them, right? Follow-up needs to. So you go and you do your why. It's so strong and passionate. You can't deny it every single day. You have your list of people that you're going to do discovery with. You start the process of training them right from that moment, doing it the right way. By the way, when you sit with your cousin and you start doing discovery, you're talking like, yeah, it's the worst day of my life, man. I just got fired from my job, my dog died, whatever it is. At that moment, are you going to talk to him about the business? No. So it saves you from burning through your list. If you actually do a good job of discovery, your invitation, you only invite the people that when the timing is right. When you're presenting all the different ways you do it, but then when you follow up, you ask them, this is what I'm going to tell everyone when you stand up here. Always talk about being a rep first. You talk to people about becoming a business partner. Always. It's literally almost impossible. Go from asking to be a customer, and they say yes or no, and then ask, oh, well, okay, we want to be a rep too? That makes sense. But you ask to be a representative first. You go through this process, you train them on how to do it, and if they say yes, great, you're off and running, you teach them the system. If they say no, this is where you begin to love no's, so they say yes, good job, start off, teach you why, and they're off and running. If they say no, then you ask them to be a customer. And I told you in one of these other papers, 30% of the people say yes, that means 70% say no. So if out of the 10 people that do that, 3 become reps, 7 say no. Out of those 7, we know if you ask them, 4, around 4 will say yes to becoming a customer. Because they just went through the whole process with you. You just did it right. They feel your passion. They know what's going on. You went through it. You know that they have reasons. Maybe the timing's just wrong, whatever it is. Whatever that reason is, they say no. Maybe they've had experience of that. But you've now enlisted them up to that moment. They're emotionally with you on this ride. And so you ask them at that point, because you've been listening to it during the discovery, you'll know, ask them to become your customer. Because now you hit them again with your why you're doing it. Connect with them. And then ask them to become your customer. When you do that, 4 of them will say yes. The other ones say no, which is a few. And then you ask them, you say, who do you know, who did you think of that would be good at this? Even though it's not for you, who did you think of? And that is a referral. And guess what you do with that referral? Put them on the list. What do you do with people on your list? Discovery, invitation, presentation. Here's my whole point. If you're doing this system, the way I'm talking about right now, with your passion and your commitment, should you ever run out of people to talk to? Because look, if the 3 people that became reps, they're making a list of people you're going to talk to as well that's in your organization. So there's a whole new, 3 new lists that are added to that. Whole groups of people you never knew before. It's great. The people that became customers are awesome. It's what we need to show your group how to build a customer base and build your residual income. And the referrals are being put on your list. So now you've got a whole new person that you never knew. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make a statement right now. It was told to me when I first started network marketing. I had no reason to believe it or not believe it, but now I know it to be true. The person that's going to make you the most money in your business, you don't know. And somebody's going to refer them to you. So how important is the referral? So the biggest money. I literally became a millionaire in network marketing because my college roommate told me no and introduced me to a couple in Clearwater, Florida that went crazy. It wasn't crazy at the beginning, it was crazy a long time before they ever decided to go nuts. But when they got started, they took off, never looked at me. I just got it yesterday from a gentleman that was sitting in my office that knows that couple, and he said he still tells the story. He's like, man, I thought you were younger, because I was 23 when I put them in, and he still tells it. I was signed up when I was 23, everybody thinks I'm still 23, I guess. But he still tells that story of that moment when it happened. And this guy is still a multi-millionaire in network marketing. And I got to live that because of that. I didn't know to ask for a referral. Nobody had told me that. I just did it out of desperation. But I'm teaching it to you because I'm telling you right now, your biggest player will come in on levels 3 or 4, and it'll be from somebody who doesn't do a lot that leads you to somebody who doesn't do a lot that refers somebody that kills it. So you've got to be thinking longer term, understanding it takes a while to get through that. And this system works. Right now, in 3 other network marketing companies, the top earners, one of them is number 2, $200,000 a month. 3 other companies, the top earners are people that I taught that to just like that on a piece of paper with them, and they implemented it in their life with their passion, their skills, and now they're top earners of the business. Now, at one point, it was over 50 people that made $1 million in 1 year in network marketing from that system. I was taught this system as well, made some tweaks. I want you to do the same thing, but the structure should not change. The question is, are you going to be emotionally engaged enough to do this? Or when you go through this process, are you going to have enough character, enough strength to stand up and show somebody that maybe you're not good at it yet, but you're not giving up. And you're going to make it work no matter what. And I don't care if you're broke and you have no money right now, or you already have money and you're just doing it to help other people, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you have the system that works. Now, how are you going to work it? I sat in front of people and talked about this system. I was working this system. I do it on a daily basis in Momentus. And I was broke, talking to people that probably had more money than me. I remember sitting with a lady who's real estate in Toronto. And she was sitting there, she was telling me she's a broker. She had 31 agents. She drove up in her Lexus. I remember everything because I looked out the window and started walking, get in the car. And I'm thinking to myself, I just put her into the business talking about financial future, and I was going home to my house that was being foreclosed on. But that system is what works. And even at times when I was doubting myself, when I was struggling internally, I worked the system. And every single day I would wake up and I would do the thing I was talking about. I'd put myself in the zone. But for me it was easy because I couldn't sleep. I was so worried about my family. I was so disappointed where I had ended up financially. That mine never went away. I just wouldn't let it go away. Today, I don't let it go away. My 13-year-old son last night asked me, he was up doing paper when I got home from our meeting. It was 10:30. He's like, Daddy, are you going to keep working this hard? I mean, how long are you going to keep doing that? And I said, man, I don't know. He said, why do you do it? I said, because I messed it up so bad before, I'm never going back. I'm never going back. Where are you going? Are you going to fight for this? I'm talking about fighting for it, not just because we enjoy being around each other, it's fun to come to something like this, but when we leave here, what are you going to do? That's where the rubber meets the road. You know, I was Antoine talking about Muhammad Ali last night at the meeting. Some of you might have heard talk about Muhammad Ali. That's not even the quote that I think about when I think about it. I think about the quote where he said, when the lights are on is when you tell what you did when the lights were off. It's all the hours of running in the dark is what puts you when the lights are on to see what you're made of. So my question to you is, you know that if you ever had anything that you love to do, if you ever had a new career, when you went to school or sport you played, when you became maybe a new mom or dad or something, there's always a learning curve. But you had no choice in those things. So I'm sitting on that plane, that horrible plane ride the other day. I'm sitting next to maybe the biggest jerk on the planet. This guy. We became like family during the flight, but it was kind of like, just such a jerk, man. I mean, any of you met him, you would just want to throw him off like I did. It was so bad that people were stopping and looking back like, is that guy for real? Like, I thought it was on camera or something. on the phone. There's a lady and her probably 12-year-old son sitting next to him across the thing in first class. So he's there. There's something out by the window, and he's talking to his wife, telling her that she is lazy and that he makes so much money and if she wants to keep it. I'm like, is this a joke? Like, I'm thinking, is it? And then I can tell you the drink a little bit, right? So he starts talking about it, and he's making this so everyone can hear. So people are walking by, they're like, everybody's looking at him like that. I'm thinking, man, this guy, the lies he puts on is horrendous. And so he tells his wife, when I land, I'll decide whether we're going to go on to the next step. We're going to stay together. Oh, geez. You know, I put my headphones on real quick, act like I can't hear anything. You know, I'm like, please don't talk to me, please don't talk to me. And he goes, hey. Hey. Pulls my headphone. Pulls it off. What? He's like, hey, are you married? And I go, yes, I am. Sorry. You know, like I said. Yeah, he goes, yeah, I'm married too. He goes, is your wife a beep? Too? Yes. The lady sitting in front of me, I thought she was going to crawl over the back. I'm like, what are you asking? He's like, do you like your wife? I'm like, yes, I have like my wife. I don't even talk to her, right? I was just leave me alone. He's like, my wife is such a beep. She's so late. She lives and works at home. I'm like, wow, this is bad. And he goes, I can't figure out. He goes, should I get divorced? That's what he asked me. He goes, did you ever think about it? I said, did you have kids? Yeah. He goes, we don't have kids, so I can dump them. Exactly what he said. And I'm thinking, is this guy kid with me? Just normal people. Even if you're that big a church, you try to hide it a little bit, right? So I'm like, man, I got 4 kids. I married my high school sweetheart. I could not be happier in this world. And he's like, well, how do you do it? And I go, well, geez, like this is a long, we only have a couple hours, right? And I didn't say anything, and I just sat there, and he goes, come on, man, what's the secret? How do you do it? And I said, maybe if you just told her that you were going to be married forever, if you made that commitment, and you meant it till death do us part, maybe it would change how you guys get along. Commit to it. And he goes, really? And the lady here, the lady up there, both start going, here's my point. My wife and I, we're high school sweethearts. We've been together a long time. But we used to fight like everything. We're very passionate, right? We love each other so much we fight loud. And so, when we got married, we really haven't fought. Like, of course, we disagree at times, stuff like that. We haven't fought like that. Because when we got married, I took it as till death do us part. She took it till death do us part. So it was like, why fight like that? If you're going to be together forever, try to make it happen, right? They just changed our how we were dealing with each other. The paradigm, the whole thing. This guy's not committed, so he's going to continue to fight like that. My point is this. When you work this system, if you're not committed to seeing this job through, you're going to be different. You're going to have moments where you're going to think, I'll just walk away. I'll stop. I'll quit. It's just an extra business. And yet you are already, and almost everyone you know is on a different road, a different path, in a different vehicle that does not have financial freedom at the end of it. And we know it. It's not like you have to pretend. If you want to know what you're going to make in a couple of years, look at your boss. Right? Because if you get that job, look at the person that owns it. Are they having financial freedom? And look, most people that own small businesses, the business owns them, right? So if it's visible for them, and you're an employee, how good do you think it's going to be for you? I'm not knocking jobs because everybody's got to have an income. There were definitely certainly times a few years ago I wish I could have had one. There were times I would have given all this up, even the pursuit of it. At times I was hurt so bad that I just wanted some kind of security. I was jealous of my buddy who's a high school football coach making $65,000 a year in Colorado. I was so jealous that he had taken a different path than me. And now I've made millions of dollars in that market at time up to this point. And I was jealous of him in his house because he had stability, security, right? Because I was down, I was hurt. But I can't go back. Can you go back? Once you know there's something different, once you know that somebody in our company from this compensation plan is making 70, 80 grand a week, isn't it hard to go back and just thinking, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work? I mean, there's nobody different than you. You are just as important as anybody else. But the question is, are you willing to fight through all those moments of doubt, all those moments of hurt? And look, when you walk out of here in a little while, you're going to have to let it really show. This is the time to do it. Our company, we're adding new services. We're in the process right now. So Ken Hartway, my CEO just interviewed, called me a few weeks ago now. Yes, no, 2 weeks ago. On a Friday morning. Now, Ken is an accountant. A brilliant man. I really truly believe this. A absolutely brilliant person, but even a better man. His character is just, I've never met anybody like that. It's that kind of mixture. Just one of those guys that, if my sons grew up to be like him, I'd be very happy. Okay? I don't relate to his account mentality. Like, I'm a fired up network marketer, you know? Like, I believe in talking to everybody. And he kind of stays behind me and just can't believe I talk to everybody. He says, do you try to make friends with every waitress and waiter? Do you have to talk to everybody? Yeah, I do. I'm just talking. I don't try to do it. I'm just me, right? And so he's walking around like, oh my gosh, he's going to talk to that girl? Oh, okay, yeah, you know? He actually breaks it down when he tip. I try to over-tip everything, just make people feel good. He's like, you realize you know his bills in? Yeah, no, accountant, right? Just stop it. We don't get along like we don't know each other like that. We don't relate. He calls me 2 weeks ago, on Friday, maybe it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. He says, Andy, we are in the process. 6 months from now, you will not recognize our company. So I'm like, is that bad? Good. I don't really know. Stop, breathe for a moment. I go, good or bad? He goes, stupendous. No, yeah, that's like you and I screaming, running naked. We have it. Stupendous. How? He said, Andy, I can't. I've listened to you. I know what you want. I know what you said you need. And we're in the process of leveraging our $3 billion to get you something nobody else on the planet in network marketing has. We're going to build you the services. We're going to own the services that you've been talking about to everybody. We're going to do it. We're going to have it. Maybe it's 4 months. Maybe it's 8. Call it 6. You are going to have something nobody else has on the planet. So dry normally. Like, I remember the first time we broke 1,000 reps in a day, and I called him, and I called him at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, did you see how many reps I did? He goes, that was great. So when he told me this on that Friday morning, I started crying. I was like, wait, I can't believe it. I hung up the phone, I called Mike, I called Amy, I was like, you won't believe what he just told me. He said stupendous. This is huge, huge. I immediately go into my network marketing world, start talking about everything, right? And I start thinking about it, like, guys, it's coming. What you see now in Momentous is just the shell, just the beginning, the berries. It's a mirage compared to where we're going. We're like this big compared to this huge monster vehicle of success that's coming. Because all of the we're leveraging everything we've got. We know how to do this. It's like when you know something so well, but you just never had the way to grab what you need to make it come together. We have unlimited resources like that. We're going to have services. We're going to have services in our... You'll be able to use your phone to control your house. I know you're getting paid in everything that you're touching. As you live your life, that's why we did that day in the life of the Momentous Trip, because literally you'll be living your life getting paid. Think about it. And we're going to be doing all kinds of languages and countries all over the place. So when you're here right now, and you're sitting in this room right now, and you're sitting with the CEO training you, you're at the very beginning. You're not at such the beginning like you were 2 years ago when people sat with us and they were right to walk out probably, you know? We didn't even know what we were doing, where we were going. Now we know. Now we're really figuring out what rates are important, where are they not important, where does it work? You know, I was on a call on the way in here today, so while the lane was on the phone, and I drove all the way to the office before I realized we weren't at there. Because I was talking about lower rates in Texas. This is because we're getting good at it. We're getting better at it. We're not good yet, but we're going to be great someday. We're going to be great. We're going to be great at the training so that when a new person starts, they're going to know exactly how to fit in and where to go. They're going to go from one service to the next. It's going to be a content that pays and smooth and seamless. It's going to be different languages, different. I mean, the kit will come automatically. Several. I looked at some proofs for the final thing for the kit, which starts shipping next week. Beautiful, simple. It's going to be in all these languages as we roll it out. You know, then things start to happen and things that are out of our control that we're preparing for. Electricity in California, when it deregulates, can you imagine what that would be like? Some of you who don't ever go to California, have groups there, know what I'm talking about. For the rest of you, how you take advantage of something like that, you build here locally, talking about it, so that people that know somebody in California, they'll get interested, and that's how you start to build. That's how it works. Mexico launching, UK launching. I told you, it'll be Germany, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Holland, France, Spain, Italy, Austria, Switzerland. We start looking. I'm talking about maybe all of them in the next year. That's where you sit as business. And if you brought somebody with you, it helps business. That's how you bond together as a group. It also lets them go, okay, I don't care what Susie's doing, I'm gonna do this, right? You wanna have those moments. There's nothing more powerful than the big events that we hold, like we just held in Dallas in February. So does everybody know in June we've got a party that we're gonna throw in Las Vegas? So that event in Las Vegas is going to be the best event we've ever done. Let me give you an example. So we're doing it different. We're doing it Thursday, Friday, Saturday because Father's Day is on Sunday, so we get fathers back to their families and kids. When you come in Thursday night, we'll do normal, probably like, I don't know, 3 to 7 or 8. We'll do the normal thing. We'll do a round of training and stuff. We'll do free to come for anybody. We'll do the presentation that night. That's great. The next day, in the morning, Success Magazine, the group at Success Magazine, is bringing in like the best of the best public speakers out there. Dennis Waitley, Les Brown, Darren Hardy will be there. I want to say it's 7 different speakers are going to come in and address our momentous group, each with like a half hour or 45 minutes that they're going to do, to where they're going to talk about different topics related to your momentous business and just getting better as a human being. And so normally something like this would cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars just for that. That's free to our representatives. It's part of this weekend for you when you come there. And then in the afternoon and evening, we'll do momentous specific things with announcements and things like that. And then Saturday morning, we'll do the close to the event. So all of this intertwined is $99 for you to be there. It's not a question of whether you should be there. If you're at all serious about momentous, you're going to be there. The question is, how many people are you going to bring with you to this event? That's the question. The top earners in the company get people to these events. If you did nothing else but get good, listen, everybody, I mean this with all my heart. If all you did was get good at getting people to these events, you'll become a momentous millionaire. Think about it. All you have to do is get people to these events, and your group's going to explode. It's already proven. So we're going to pass out right now those flyers, so that if you have not registered, please raise your hand right now. We're going to pass you a flyer and register for the event and get all your group there. If you've already registered, which I'm sure most of you pastors it looks like, then take some with you. Pass them out. Just start passing them. Take it with you. Make a copy. Give it to your group. Hold a sign-up meeting. Have people over to have some cookies and coffee or whatever, and have them sign up to register for this event. Don't miss this event. End of story. As we're doing this, guys, I got to go. My son's in a math competition. I wish he was saying football. He's in a math competition, so I'm going to watch him win. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.